Langi, and the project manager for Forgotten Bottom Millions. Yeah, actually, I'm actually here because as Forgotten Bottom Millions, one of the things that we do is to share opportunities with young people. And one of the things that we do is share scholarship opportunities. And once we share, I get a lot of requests from young people. How do I just go about applying this scholarship? Yeah. And I hope my community is here so that you just get helped on how you're moving forward. Yeah. So our speaker for today is Kahinga Kamau. Actually, when we were talking with him, I was telling him that he's actually very lucky because Kahinga Kamau did his master's through a scholarship and currently doing his PhD through a scholarship. Yeah. And the other thing is that he didn't just qualify for one, he qualified for more than one, and he had to choose which one is actually the best for me to go about. Yeah. So Mr. Kahinga Kamau is currently the lecturer, the lecturer at JKUAT at the Department of Chemistry, and is currently doing his PhD at the University of Waitako in New Zealand through a scholarship, and he did his master's at the University of Hyupuk in South Korea, also through a scholarship. Yeah. So when it comes to matters scholarships, how you just apply for it and ensure that you're successful, Mr. Kahinga is actually an expert around that area. I think when he's going to talk, he's going to tell us more about himself in relation to how he just ended up getting this scholarship. Yeah. So Mr. Kahinga, to start, because our community is a community of people who really want to further their education through scholarships. So as somebody who wants to get a scholarship, what do I need to do before anything else? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eric, for the opportunity that I thought maybe I was not the best person to work on this, but based on the experience, I think I'll try to share my experiences based on what a student, or not just a student, even a person who is working, what he or she needs to do, because as we all know that scholarships are there, but sometimes we don't even know when to apply, how to apply, how to go about it. And maybe this is a session that will try to be like an eye-opener on what we need to do for us to understand the way forward. Maybe before answering the question, what I just need to do, I would like to share something that is very important. Sure. And this is something to do with eligibility of and criteria for scholarship. Because you see, the purpose of a scholarship is to find ways to pay our college fees. And there are some things that we'll try to tackle as time goes by on how we need to understand, because sometimes the one scholarship is vague. And that's why I need maybe to ask, I'll start this like with a question, like, and some I'll try to echo what you have said, like we need to understand what a scholarship. Then how do I get one? Where do I find one? And we'll try to see that these are some of the questions that most of the audience that I've tried to interact with, they have been trying to ask me. So a scholarship in this matter, we'll try to use it like any type of financial aid, which can be vital for financing students, financing college for students, and rather the word college is the same as university in this context. So we'll try to understand that a scholarship, we'll try to define, let me not first of all use the word scholarship as we used to say the word scholarship. Let me use the word financial aid. And for financial aid, they can be divided into two parts. So there is gift aid and there is self-help aid. So the difference between the gift aid and the self-help aid is that in the category for gift aid, we'll have something to do with grants or scholarship. These are things that you don't need to pay back. Once you get through the studies, you don't need to pay back anything, any of the two, either grant or the scholarship. But for the self-help aid, we can have like work study, or we can have like loans. And I know in Kenya, the most common that we know, like help, will follow under this category, where maybe you are financed and then maybe later you need to pay back. So maybe that's something that we need to understand even before we dive into matter scholarship. So where do we get this? So these are another question that we have asked ourselves. So I came to understand that most students just move to a scholarship just because it's being offered. And maybe scholarship can be they can be categorized in several places. Like if we can try to take something to do with like international organization or state or whatever, like in my case, I got a scholarship with the government. So we can refer them, maybe they can be offered like with the government or state or whatever. And then we can have like international organization. So that's why it's good now you need to understand which path you need to follow. So when we need something to do with a national or state scholarship, here we are dealing with governments. Like you can find that several governments can offer scholarships. Like in Kenya, I don't think whether Kenya government offers scholarship, but you can have other countries such like Australia or like Korea or China or Japan. So you can find like a country is offering the scholarship. That is, then you can have like state. Like in the US, it's very difficult to find like the government of US is offering scholarship. So you'll find like different states will have their different way of doing it. And it's different from one state to another. Then we can have now the institutions. So when we are dealing with when we want to say something to do with the universities, each university can offer a scholarship. As Eric said initially, I got a scholarship. The first one was a scholarship through the government. Then the second scholarship I got through a university. It was a University of Waikato doctoral scholarship. So you can see that each university do have their own way of this scholarship. I had one of my friends who got a scholarship in Saudi Arabia, like King Abdullah University of Scholarship. So you can see like each university can try to offer the scholarship. So the question that you need to ask yourself, where do I start? As we had asked ourselves earlier. So the best thing that you need to do for you to get a scholarship, the first step is to identify where do I need to go. Like most of us have done the first degree, but you cannot go to all universities at once. You cannot be at Moi University or in JKUAT at the same time at Nairobi. So you need to be precise. Like I want to move to this country. Like you say that like in this case, I want to go to Europe. Europe is very big. You can try now to be specific. I want to go to Denmark, because we are asking ourselves, if we are to start from somewhere, where do I start? So the best thing that you can do for now is to understand, I need to go to this country. So that will be the first step. You can take it, we can use the word region. Then the second step is you try to identify the different types of scholarship in that place. And that one will be helped with the help of the Google. Because in my case, I never knew anything to do with Korea. Even I was not even watching Korean drama. I was not watching anything to do with something to do with Korean that initiated me to go to the Korea. But when I was just trying to go through the scholarships, I came across this scholarship, because for me, I was interested with Asian countries, either Japan or South Korea or China. And then when I was just trying to go through them, I needed to understand about what do they need for them, what do they need? Because each scholarship will be different from the other one. And that's why now I came to understand that there are different things that they are needed. One, sometimes we think that getting good grades will give you scholarship. You can get a first class and still miss the scholarship. Whereas someone else with a second upper or even lower, being well prepared, he or she can have a high chances of getting the scholarship. So the first thing that you need to understand, I've said, you come to understand, maybe let me try to give the general things that they are needed during the preliminary process of the scholarship. One, you need to have your document, like your degree document, because at least you have them. And maybe I'm not talking to those people who want the master's or PhD scholarship. I'm talking even for people who need even undergraduate scholarship, because they are still there. So one thing you need to do, you need to have your document. If you are interested with bachelor's, of course, you need your form for certificate, which is being notarized. What do I mean by the word by being notarized? So a notarized document is a document that can be recognized as the original by the other universities, even without using your original document. How do I make my documents notarized? One way you do them, you need to take them to your university. They need to sign that this is original document, maybe from your signature from a university. Then you take them now to the Minister of Education. All these processes are free. I don't know, some of your university may charge, but I think from the Minister of Education is free. Then if you are moving to, that's why I was just trying to say that your university of interest is very important. Because like, let me try to give an example with Korea. You take them now to the Korean embassy, then they stamp. So if you use that document to apply for a scholarship, it will be regarded as the original. You don't have to use like the original, but this one will qualify to be the original. Two, you need now to have some language proficiency. If you are interested to move like in Europe or UK or US, wherever you want, you need to move, is that they need you to do a certain language. And you see, the best thing with Kenyans, English is not a problem to us. In my case, I never went to study that language. So I just paid for that money. Sometimes it's like 25,000. We started with 25,000. You just pay. And because there are a lot of people who are in this process who want to take money from you, it's good now you understand. Like, for example, if you move to the Europe, let me try to give like Europe. You have like British Council who are legalized to give this language exam. Then if it is like you need to move to places like in UK, so in that case, you do like IELTS, is a language, international English language something. I don't get the proficient. Then if you need to go to the US or Australia or whatever, they might ask you to do even something to do with TOEFL, the test of English as a foreign language. There are so many languages that they are required, not just one. There's Cambridge, there's whatever. So depending on where you need to go, they might ask you to do that language. It's not like it's just a Form 4 English exam, which is not difficult to do. Then after that, if you have that, you need now to rethink about how to talk about yourself. You know, you need to convince the other people that you need a scholarship, because everybody need a scholarship. But for you now to be chosen, you know, they don't just take. There's a difference between being taken and being chosen. So there are some traits that you need to portray that will put you on the top of the others. And one of it is how to write your personal statement, because a personal statement is what brings connection between you and the person who is giving you the scholarship. Leave alone the grades. You know, some of us think that if you get a first class, you get a scholarship, which is something that I found not working. Because if you have someone who will guide you through this process, there is a high probability of you getting a scholarship. I'm saying this for free, because when I went to Korea, I had gotten like other 4 scholarship. When I finished my master's and I wanted to move to do my PhD, I had several scholarships at hand because I had prepared this before. So if you have your personal statement, or what they refer to as the statement of purpose, these go hand in hand. These are documents that you need to talk about yourself. You say who you are, what you did, what you achieved, what you need to do, and so forth. Then finally, you need to prepare a research, a statement or a research purpose, or any document on what you need to do. Like, for example, if you want to do a business, why do you want to do a business? And if it's a business, which area do you want to do? If you are doing engineering, which kind of engineering do you want to do? And you be precise. Like another thing that I noted, it's better you move with the current trends. So don't just do something because other people are doing. If like current right now, we have challenges as not just as a country, like even the whole world. If I can ask you the challenges that you are facing, even at a personal level, you can tell me something to do like food. You see, like food, we have food crisis. We have something to do with climate change. We have to do something to do with the energy, the cost of fuel. There's something to do with renewable energy. So all these things, they can be addressed from any angle. If it is from economics, you can be able now to come up with a model on how you can be able to guide countries on how to go through this. If you are from science perspective, you can be able to come up with a way into which you can be able to solve these problems. And that's what we are calling like a research proposal. So the research proposal, if you try to maybe for those people who are doing something to do with who understand the current issues, you can even try to understand what is going on through the world in terms of education, in terms of business, in terms of whatever. So try to come up with a good business proposal, and it does not matter. It does not matter what you need. Of course, I know you get somewhere. Then finally, in terms of the research proposal, that this is where now I want you now to help you. I don't know whether most of us need master's scholarship, PhD scholarship, undergraduate scholarship, or anything. I don't know whether you are working or not. But the best thing that you need to do to achieve this is that you can, I said initially that you need to think about the region that you need to move. So like, for example, if I think maybe I need to go to United States, there are so many states. We have, there are a lot of states that I cannot name them here because of time. But let me try to take like something like Louisiana or maybe New York or California or whatever, where you need to go. So you need to go to you can Google the universities in that state because there are many. You will come to understand there are so many universities that you cannot, they are endless. Then, based on your course, let me try to give an example with agriculture. If you are from agriculture, go to the website for the agriculture department. So the agriculture department will be able to find different supervisors or supervised lecturers in that university and their email. So the best thing that you can do, try to write a small email. I'm so and so. These are things that I'm saying that you can do during the preliminary, even before you start your scholarship. I'm so and so. I did this. I graduated with this. I've worked under this. So these are the skills that I have. Then I'm trying to find a scholarship or a grant or something, and I think you are the best person to help this. Maybe you can, if you have a small introduction about yourself, then you can send to so many lecturers or professors as possible. And some of them will respond, others will not. Then these are the people that will help you, because if you are targeting for a postgraduate scholarship, which are their masters and PhD, the best thing, the first thing that you need to have is a supervisor. Even if you have a first class and you don't have a supervisor, the chances of being taken are very low. I hope I'm trying to communicate the things, because these are some of the small things that they are not, they are within our reach, but sometimes we forget to include them to do in the matters scholarship. Then something else that you need to understand about the scholarship is that the deadline, or you need to have like a book or a place where you need to write about a scholarship. Try to understand when they are being offered, and then the amount of money that they will give in terms of stipend, or maybe because I said that scholarship, then use the word financial aid. You can either have a scholarship, they can be even given in terms of grant, you can be even given a work study. Like from my former university, there was a scholarship that was offered by the professor. Though the professor gives you some money, then you are able now to pay like the part of your fees or your living expenses. So maybe what I can encourage you is that don't just look for a scholarship. You can even find a grant that is paying even more than the scholarship itself. Or you can even be given a work study, and then maybe the person who is in charge of you might give you more money even to pay for that. So I think when we are trying to think about the matter scholarship, it's very critical that you need to understand that. Have the name of the scholarship. Understand if, like, for example, like right now, there is an Australian award scholarship. This is a scholarship that I knew like 7 years ago. So what the scholarship does, you don't even have to apply through the university. This one you apply through them, but now there's a lot of information that you need to fill. And I think most of us don't take time to finish all that, because sometimes you get tired, because they ask a lot of information that you need to fill. And that's why I'm encouraging you. Even if you don't have a professional who will guide you, it's better you merge either one or two or three of you. Don't just fill a scholarship by yourself, because sometimes it will make you feel like you are doing nothing. But if you are like 3, 4, or 5 of you in one group, it even motivates you to, if my friend has done this, I think I can do better than this. And I think that one will be a better avenue to start the scholarship journey. So Eric, I think maybe I've tried to say as much as we may need during the preliminary, because, you know, as filling a scholarship is not just a one-day thing, it's a process. And then don't just fill one. When you need to fill a scholarship, because sometimes filling requires, you know, money, feel like even 100 or 20 or 30. And that's why I'm just trying to say, don't just walk alone. In matter scholarship, don't walk alone. Try to have 2, 3, or 4 groups. And in that group, try to find someone who will maybe be able to guide. If you write up your personal statement, try to share with your friend. Then he or she, when he or she give you comment, don't see those comments as they are coming from your friend, but just take them positively and then try to do what is required. So I think maybe I have said more than maybe required, but I think maybe it's of benefit to this session. Thank you.
Yes. Actually, you actually mentioned a lot of stuff, and probably maybe to recap, for somebody who probably might have missed, one of the things that you said is we need to identify where we want to go in terms of which region or which country we want to go to and which particular course we want to do. Yeah. And maybe before I go further, I wanted to ask again, do you have a specific advice that you would give, for instance, us as Kenyans? Which regions do you think have high chances of us Kenyans qualifying for a scholarship? Because I know, of course, there are a lot of people who want the scholarships, and the scholarship are limited. So which regions will you advise Kenyan to go to?
So I think is a very good question, but maybe I forgot something. Maybe I may need to ask. Please let us know, for the people who are in this session, are you working? Are you applying for a scholarship? Which level are you? And I think that information will be enough for us. So this is for the attendees. So please try to give that information to the IHR solution or whoever who is here, even during the chat or whatever. We need to understand where we need to go through. So thank you again, Eric. And I think maybe this question can be answered in 2 ways. One way is that I need to give like a real life situation. So when we were done with our undergraduate studies, we met 3 of us and we decided where we need to go to find a scholarship. And for me, I was interested with more of technology. And although I did a chemistry based course for my undergraduate, I needed to ask myself, or I needed to rethink how we can merge technology with chemistry, which was not offered here in Kenya. And I thought the best countries to do that, even if I can ask you, Eric, the countries that you think they are very good in technology, of course, South Korea will be on the top. So I think based on the course, it must be propelled with what you need to do. Like we always know, because now here you need now to think how you need to become more marketable. And then something else is about your passion. Where do you need to go? Like you see, most of people think about the US, they think about the UK, they think about which other country which is more known by Kenyans. If you can ask someone UK, US, or whatever. But if we try to think about the region, because now I'm trying to help a student how they can increase their chances of getting scholarship. One is that if you try to think about maybe a region, like let me try to give an example of the oceanic countries. The oceanic country, we have New Zealand, we have Australia, we have whatever. So the best thing that you need to do to increase your chances of getting the scholarship, first of all, you need to be prepared well from what I have said. Then two, because now I know Kenyans, they are very hardworking, and even if they are given chances, they work on them. They need to work on their research, because this is a part that is making some of us to fail. You need to think, not just get something and just write. Like you need to think, like if you need to solve something like with food, try to think a way that even the person who is reading your research proposal, you'll see that at least even this can be an idea that can be implemented, not just by us, even by other people. Like, let me try to give an example with myself. When I did I finished my master's and I thought of getting a scholarship, I started thinking about the climate change. And in climate change, if I can ask people here about climate change, they'll tell me this that about the CO2 going to the atmosphere, ozone layer, and so forth. But for me, I thought about, because now people have been thinking about the land, how can we use the sea to solve the climate change? Because I came up with that model. Because I thought that, like New Zealand being an island, they have more water than the land. And that's why when I presented that idea or that proposal to the scholarship panel, I was given the scholarship to do that. So that's what I'm just trying to say. If we try to think about a scholarship, try to think where you are going, and then the problem that they are going through, because I know they are Kenyans, they are very creative. You see how Kenya come up with some memes day in, day out. If we try to focus with that knowledge and try to see the knowledge, the problem that we are facing, it will propel us now to the next level. And if you have someone who can guide you through the process, I think the sky is not the limit. So I think, Eric, there's no area that we cannot get a scholarship. It's just a matter of being how prepared as a Kenyan you are.
Oh, okay. Because I was just also talking on Regis, also wanted you to touch about intra-Africa scholarship, like for instance, going to South Africa, going to Tanzania. Yeah, because when we talk about scholarships, people always just think about going to Europe, Asia, and what. I don't know, what will you say about with the scholarships within African countries?
I think I have met so many people who have done scholarship in Africa. And I think still there are a lot of opportunities within Africa. And a very good example is Pan-African University. Pan-African University is not like one university, it's a joint of universities that come together and they try to offer scholarship. Like I know, like in Kenya, there's JKUAT, I think there's University of Nairobi, and so forth, where you can even study here in Kenya and still get the scholarship. Others, as I had said earlier, you can even, I found that even IRI is an organization that is trying to offer scholarship. So what I can say about the Kenyan scholarship is that when maybe you are trying to apply for a Kenyan scholarship, majority of us will try to apply. Therefore, even if people will get, if you apply like 100, you get like 1 or 2 people are getting the scholarship. So that's why we find it, maybe it's kind of, it slow up the process. But as maybe what we can start to begin with there are a lot of scholarship that they are being given. And one, maybe you can try to Google, is about like minds. There is Nelson Mandela, whatever. I was trying to help a few friends to apply the same. I think even in Africa, there is still potential. So that's what I can say, Eric. Even in Africa, there are a lot of scholarship that we need to venture into.
Okay, thank you. So guys, it's very clear, wherever region you choose to apply the scholarship from, you've got a chance. And something that I also want to stress, the way Mr. Kahinga said, he's really talked about a lot about preparation. Actually, preparation is very key. And one of the two things that actually touched about, just ensuring that your documents are in place, so that you don't start the scholarship, then you realize that you've been asked for a document that is either not certified or notarized. Then that is when now you start moving up and down to look for this. Then there's the issue of the language proficiency, which we always start applying. Then once we're inside, then that's when they tell us that they need this language proficiency. Then you have to go back and what. So I think the way he said that if you are really sure that you want to get a scholarship, these are some of the things that you need. Even before starting looking at which scholarship you want to, which area you want to go to, there are some of these that you need to take. Yeah, take a language proficiency and just have your documents, in place. Yeah. So, Mr. Kahinga, probably maybe I don't know if it's possible to again just touch a little bit deep on the personal statement, because our participants are asking how, because I know you had touched on it, but now if maybe you can go into a bit more details on how does one write a personal statement, a win personal statement when it comes to scholarship?
Okay. Maybe I have seen it in the question and answer. It had been asked by, maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. There is that one, and there's someone who has asked, I am working and I'm applying for a scholarship. I think someone by the name, let me try to see from the Vincent. And then the anonymous attendee have asked about how to work with the personal statement. I think maybe I can answer these two questions simultaneously. And
go ahead.
Yes. Like if you are working, as I said, that scholarship are based with different categories. Like there's this one scholarship in Korea, apart from the government scholarship, which is called KOICA. I think I'm trying to answer the person who is asking about the masters for the scholarship. And that scholarship is only for those people who are working. You cannot apply that one if you're not working. And what they do, if like the scholarship is for 2 years, you can do it within 1.5 years, because now they understand that maybe you have family and then you have some other, issue. But maybe to ask, maybe I need to understand well, there are some institutions who even encourage their workers to go and study abroad. Maybe you are given academic leave or so forth. So I don't know whether you have that leverage of getting the permission or not. So maybe that one, maybe you can leave it at that. So because I don't know whether you can be given academic leave or not. Then how do you go about the personal statement? Because this is something that it's easier said, but now when it is being done, it's somehow not workable. And one thing that I can say is that when you are filling your personal statement, these are the guidelines. One, as I said, that the main objective of the personal statement is to bring connection between you and the scholarship. So the people who are giving the scholarship are the intermediaries. And one thing you need to do, you need to introduce about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Where did you study? And so forth. Because that one will help the other participants or the other people who are giving the scholarship to understand who they are dealing with. Because some of the scholarship, the first eligibility is that you need to come from a certain country. Maybe if Kenya is not listed among there and you have applied for that scholarship, you'll be qualified at the step 1. Then step 2, you need to understand, you need to explain about, before you apply, but before you say about why you need the scholarship, you need to express your interest on the scholarship based on your abilities. Don't just say that I want to just do this scholarship because you are offering and I am very poor. No, that one should not be the main reason. Try to match the scholarship that you are trying to do with your abilities. Like, I have worked in several countries or several companies as a HR, and I was trying to do this and this. Then I try to see that because for the people who are trying to offer the scholarship, they also need to gain something from you. The experiences that you have gone through and so forth, and that one will help them to see that this person can be able now to finish whatever we'll have given him or her. Then you need now to talk about the challenges that you have passed through your academic journey. And sometimes you can even, don't cheat. I'm trying to say you can give a truthful information. Like, if, for example, if you studied through bursaries and loan, it's good now to communicate there. That maybe your background was not good, you did not have a very stable background, and maybe your studies was financed by maybe help, was financed by well-wishers, and maybe you went for, you took a leave so that you can get some, you try to say something that, you try now to see that even if you have completed your bachelor's or your master's, there are challenges that you are trying to face. And if these challenges are eliminated, it will be like a bridge to your success. Then finally, try to talk about your research. And this is something that most people forget. Then when you talk about the research, you need now to bring the connection between the research and the university that you are doing. So you need now to have understood about the scholarship or the university or whatever the nature of the scholarship that you are dealing with, and you try to show how the importance that they have done to other people. Maybe there are people who have gone there, they have graduated, they are doing this and this, and maybe you need to follow their path. So I think those should be the main ideas that, for me personally, I try to use when I'm dealing with the personal statement. And don't write like 5 pages. Personal statement should be at most 1.5 pages, but mostly try to limit yourself to one page. So I think, Eric, that one is understood. Okay. I hope that one is understood.
Yeah, that is very clear. So also, you just said you do 1.5 pages, and I always see most scholarship have a limit on words that somebody needs to write. Like, they tell you that answer this question with 2,000 words. And probably, maybe because I'm not wordy, I meant to do 1,000 words. What will you say? Is it always advisable to do the essays closer to the words limit, or it doesn't matter?
So no, I was just trying to give an example if the words limit is not given.
Yes.
But if the word are given, even most of the, like, if you try to use, I'm trying to give an example with the Australian award scholarship. They give like 2,000 words. So you need to write something. When it is research, you need to write 2,000 words. And something which is beyond 2,000 words is cut. So it will not appear in it will not be part of the documentation. So it is advisable to write, even if it's better to write lower than above, because it will not make a lot of sense. So if you are given, let's try to give an example, you are given 2,000 words. The first part is to introduce yourself. Then the second part, try to talk about your strength, and your strength, that's what I've said about. You can talk about what you have been doing. You have been employed, you have been working on this and this, and that's why there is some skill that is lacking that you need now to improve on what you are doing. Then finally, talk about the university or the scholarship. I think that one will be the best thing to add on that. Maybe the other things that I had said earlier, you cannot try to see how you can dive them inside if there'll be still some words.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So John says he's age 38 and he lacks experience. He did music, but now went to psychology. So he feels that those are limitations for him getting a scholarship. What do you advise?
So I think, okay. I think unlike Kenyan system, where we are just limited with like we have always been like is it a cliche or whatever? I don't know how I can put it. It's like there are certain courses which are better than others. And when I went to Korea, I found that even the art courses are more preferred than even the science courses. I don't know, maybe someone with experience will come to understand that. And when maybe you are saying that maybe you don't have experience, I don't know how I'll put it in terms of experience. Maybe I don't know whether it's the experience from the music or experience from the psychology. Maybe that's something, Eric, that I don't understand. Whether it's just the experience from the.
Yeah, I think if maybe understand him, he did his undergraduate in music, but he's doing something totally different.
Yes.
But now, of course, scholarship, they'll always want your academic certificates and blah, blah. So probably maybe if...
Okay. I think that one, we can try to find a solution. A solution to this is this. We can try people now to think about maybe where John wants to go. Maybe if we try to think about in a place. Now, instead of now focusing on music, he tried now to focus on the psychology. And I know maybe for you to graduate with a psychology, you need to go for a practicum. A practicum is a place where for you to graduate, you need to go for sessions that you have tried to do this and this. And then, like for me, when I was trying to apply for my master's scholarship, I did not have experience, like tangible experience, like, and unasema nimeapply hapa ama hapa. So what I did, there are some other things that I did outside my class. Like I was the chairperson of the chemistry club. And then we had an organization which was called Reducer, and still is there, which is an organization for students in university where we try to do things together. You see, even if I don't have experience from my field, there are things that I can show that I have done. And one thing that even made me get a scholarship is one of the programs that we did, Capybora. It was called Capybora. We were trying to go to the interior, to the tea estate regions, where we were trying to educate the student and so forth in terms of marriages and so forth. So I think with not just touching about the experiences based on what you are doing, you can try maybe one way you can try to approach, instead of just going to the scholarship, you can now try to approach the professor or the lecturer, who will be able now to understand what you mean and your career. If you need now to focus with your music rather than your psychology, now focus on someone who is doing music. Try to explain what you can do. Else, you can, if it's psychology, you can try now to focus on a lecturer or a professor who is under that field. And then the other scholarship, which are even, maybe I had not said about this, they are jointed scholarship. What do I mean by jointed scholarship? Or sandwich. A sandwich scholarship is a scholarship and which maybe you are studying here, but maybe you can have your research either in Finland or whatever, in another university, but you graduated through here. Maybe I think maybe John, maybe we can try to use these two methods. I think age will not be, because now here we are, even the professors, most of them, they're older than that. And I think they can even help you to go through this. So I think maybe, Eric, that's what I can say. Maybe we can try a sandwich program, but maybe you can start a program here and merge with another one. Or instead of just going through a scholarship, you can try now to approach a professor, him or herself, then he can be able to advise you accordingly, because there are a lot of opportunities outside there.
Yeah, and John, I also see some people asking about specific scholarship opportunities. Do you have reliable sites whereby somebody can go and just find a scholarship that they need?
Of
So somebody is
course.
asking, yes, probably you could share.
Yes.
If maybe you've got links you can share on the chat so that somebody can just go and check. Because I know there are a
Yes.
lot of sites that share scholarship opportunities, but most of them are just baiting sites wanting traffic on their website. Yeah. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Then there's the other question that it's a question that probably people have challenges answering. They will always ask you, okay, once they give the scholarship, how is that going to change your life? Yeah. How are you going to utilize those skills, especially when you come back to your country? How do we go about that question?
So maybe let me try to start with the first one, the reliable sources or the links. For you to get a reliable links for the scholarship, maybe you can, for me, I was trying to work it in 2 ways. One way was going through the people that I know. Like I was using the LinkedIn. I had 4 people who I knew if I get a scholarship link from these people, they were somehow reliable. And how do I know they are reliable? There were some scholarship that I could try to find myself online and try to match with what I'm seeing from here. And I try to use, like, there is a scholarship which is called Chevening in Europe. There is a scholarship called Mastercard Foundation. So a Mastercard tried to work with different universities. Like for me, initially I tried to apply with University of Edinburgh. I was trying to find a master's in energy sustainability. So I tried to find whatever this one is being is giving out, and the other one. Then another source that I was able now to get a lot of scholarship is through the societies. Like in my case, I'm under Kenya Chemical Society. So we have a platform where we can be able now to, where we have a chemistry professional. And one way that I'm able now to tell is that if something is being put in that under that platform, it cannot be a joke. And I have come to understand like more than 30 scholarship within this platform, which are workable. But another way we can do this, Eric, I don't know how the IHR solution will do about this. Maybe we can try, I don't know, I know that IHR, they have some programs that you can try to enroll and you can be able to understand where we are. Where if we are together in one platform, I can share as much scholarship as possible. But for me, I've arranged them based on the available timeline. Like if the scholarship which are applied at January, February, March, April. So if I know, like for example, let me try to give an example. There's someone who has said that he applied to in Kimpu through the government scholarship. So maybe what I can say is that it's always known that a Korean government scholarship is offered at February. And then for bachelor's is offered at September. So now do you see now, even if the information is not given, I can be able now to find my information because I know about the timeline. Like the Australian Award Scholarship, I know it's being offered from, I think they will close on 29th, on the end of this month, but they extended to 2nd May, because there are people who I'm trying to apply for the scholarship. Now, do you see, like, Eric, what I'm saying, that if you start now to be able to understand about a scholarship, you'll be able to understand about the timeline. So if someone tells me that a Korean scholarship is being offered at April or at July, I'll see now this one is someone who is cheating. Now that one, like, I will not believe on that site. So I think maybe I have several, I had even come up with a document. I don't think whether I will be able to share it after this. What I did initially, I had tried to think about a scholarship. So you divide a scholarship based on the region. If it's like New Zealand, what are these countries? I'll try to share that document before we leave on this platform. So you just try to find the scholarship. Is it fully funded? Is it partial? Is it whatever? So based on the information that I was trying to get on that different sites, I was now be able now to make my own decision. Because as you have said, just following a link will not guarantee you that that one is the original documentation.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. And how now do we answer the question of how the scholarship is going to impact our lives?
I think scholarship, how they impact in our lives, not just about getting knowledge. They will give you a lot of network. Even if you want to do business, like, let me try to give an example. When I went to Korea, I became the student, the African student representative, where I was representing like most African countries. And what I can tell you for free is that the network I made during that time is a network that even can sustain me for now. Because some of the students, like if you want to talk about like the way you said about like in Africa. So if I need someone in Nigeria and I need to understand about a certain university, I know someone who is a friend. If you need to understand about Egypt, if you need to understand about whatever, you need someone who you can ask, like, what about this university? Is this scholarship legit? What can you do about this? And even if you want to visit those countries, you still have people who can do about it. Then something else about is about networking. So once you are done with your studies, as we all know that you start summaking, you don't know where to start or where you need to go or whatever you need to go, what you need to do. These are the people who will hold your hand and they will help you even to be a better person. Like for me, when I came here, I just stayed for like 6 months, but I was just engaged with other things. But within 6 months, I had gotten a job. Do you understand what I'm saying, Eric? Is that it's not just about getting the paper. Even the networking itself, it will expose you to things that you never thought that you people now to go through them.
Yeah, I agree. So, and I also want to add on what you had said when you are applying for the New Zealand scholarship. You had actually looked at a problem that the New Zealand government or the country is facing, and you actually put that in the scholarship application. So probably also just on how the scholarship will also benefit you or your country. Maybe look at like Kenya, what are the pressing issues, and see how you can connect that to that scholarship, because I think they'll want to award you because they know that, okay, you are somebody that when you come back to your country, you're going to use that knowledge to better your country. Yeah.
So yes. Maybe, Eric, something else that I can say is that the knowledge that you get outside, once you come back here.
Yes.
As I said, that most people think that chemistry is just wearing lab coat and using pipette and whatever. When the word chemistry is mentioned, a lot of things comes in your mind. But I can tell you that wherever I am, for me, I don't wear lab coat because I just use my computer. My computer is my lab. That is an opportunity that even in the department, you are unique by yourself. You know, there is no competition. So even if you need to be employed, you tend to have a high chance of being employed than someone else who is doing the same thing, how things are being done. And that's why I'm just trying to say, when you try to think about your research, try to think about something that will become an eye-opener. Once you come back, even getting grants or getting whatever, be at the front line. Because you're not just doing what other people are doing. Because nowadays, things are changing. Processes are changing. So I think when you try to think about the scholarship, it is being offered, or you are being given the scholarship based on so many things that come all along. And then maybe I can try to answer something. There's someone who has asked about my university, the Kyoko. Maybe I hope you can see. He's anonymous. I don't know who is that. He has asked that he tried to apply the scholarship under the embassy track. Maybe let me try to explain to people who are here. As I say that I cannot now get into specific scholarship, because at this time I don't know whom I'm dealing with, but let me try to be precise when I'm answering this question. He said that he's tried to apply a scholarship the government scholarship through the embassy track. Let me try to answer this. In Korean government, the scholarship is offered in two ways. Either you take your documents, you fill them, you take them now to Westlands, a place called Misha, the Korean embassy. And for the person who is here can attest that they will not take your document unless they are notarized. Because now they need to prove that you are the one who is applying whatever you are trying to do. And then there's another option, that is the university track. The university track, as the word suggests, is that you take your document, you fill them, you take them now to, you send them via email. You send them via post office. You send, like, for example, like for me, I choose about the Kyungpo. So I took my document, I went through the notarization process, then I sent them. Once I sent them, I got a challenge. Because now they were asking about GPA. You know, some of the universities don't give GPA, the cumulative point aggregate. So I was najiuliza, what do they need? What is this GPA and so forth? So once your documentation get to the university, the university will do the interview, then they will either take you or leave you. And for me, I got that a chance that I was selected, because for me, I never applied through the embassy track. I applied through the university track. And in that year, if you can try to search for KGSP or Korean Government Scholarship 2017, we were awarded only 5 of us. 3 were from the embassy, then 2 were from the university track. So I think maybe for the person who is asking here, I cannot answer everything from here. Maybe you'll get my email from the HR solution, and then we can be able now to see what we can do about it. We can prepare ourselves better for the next time. I think, Eric, maybe I've tried to kill 2 birds with one.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Kahinga. I know people still have more questions that we can't answer in this session. And me and the Dorcas of HR, we're just going to see, especially the community that you had talked about, whereby you can be all of us and see how you can help. You can help them further in terms of now identifying the scholarship opportunities and just helping here and there on as far as applications are concerned. Yeah, so we are going to look into that, and I think Dorcas will communicate to you on how we are going to move forward. Yeah. So we also want to thank IHR Solutions for giving us this platform. The way I told you, if you want scholarships, you want jobs, then IHR is actually the place to be. They'll prepare you ready for scholarships like this, and also they'll prepare you ready for job opportunities. Yeah, they also do mentorship and coaching around IHR and knowledge, like the way we are doing here. So just go ihrsolutions.co.ke. That is their website, and there's more information there to just learn more about them. Yeah. Then if you go to LinkedIn, there's you will follow us. Mr. Kahinga Kamau is on LinkedIn. I think that is your LinkedIn name, right?
Yes, sure.
If you have the link, you can post it on the chat so that they just follow you there and probably maybe engage further.
Just Kahinga Kamau. But yeah, Eric, before we close, there's a personal question that have been asked, and I think maybe it's better to answer.
Yes.
The last one, I think there's a lady by Faith Minor who was asked me about my experience in Korean language. Because once you get the Korean scholarship, so you don't just go to do your master's. So I went to a university called Inha University, where I did Korean language, only Korean language. And if you don't pass more than top level 3, you don't qualify, you are just sent home.
Okay.
So in my case, I think he want to understand how the Korean experience was. It was horrible. During the first 2 months, I could not even read the university's name. My friend, it was horrible, but you see now you are not alone. You meet in a class where all of us are foreigners. You are 50 students from different countries. So the challenge that you first get is not even the language, even how do you live? What do you eat? There were a lot of, I was in a confused state for one and the second month. But I thank God to my roommate. My roommate was from Mongolia. He could not even understand English, and myself, I could not understand Korean. So sometimes we could talk with hands, but eventually we were able now to come to an agreement. Then he asked me what level. I got level 4 for my topic, but for both the school and for the topic exam, I was not required to come back to Kenya. Even for me, I was not paid the back flight. So you are not forced to come back after you are done with your scholarship as a KGSP. I got another scholarship before I moved to Korea, which is called King's. I did my PhD for 1 semester when I got another scholarship in New Zealand. So that way I had to leave. But I hope I have answered what I was asked, Eric. So I think that
yes,
one is...
Yes, you have, and we'll also have a way of just answering more, because there was specification for the Korean scholarship. Somebody even talked that they were applying to the university that you went to. So we'll just find a way of you just helping them further. Yeah. So thank you very much again, Mr. Kahinga, Care Solution, for this platform, and thank you all of you for attending. We hope to have you again just to delve further on the issue of scholarships, and maybe after 2-3 months, have somebody say that they was qualified, they got a scholarship just because they attended this webinar. Yeah. For now, we are closing there, and have a nice weekend and a nice holiday on Monday.